Welcome to the Media Nerds Podcast. I'm Dan Vademacher.
And I'm Kenton Larson.
Happy New Year, Kenton.
Happy New Year to you.
Have you made any resolutions for 2026?
I thought of one the other day. Hang on, let me think about it. What have you made any? Let's start with you.
I'll talk about mine first. Okay, well, my resolution, I've only made one, is to go to the theater more. I want to go to the movies more. And my goal is to go every week. And I try and get out to the movies every week. I think that's an absolute doable thing. I've got the Cine Club monthly thing from Cineplex, so I get basically buys you a ticket every month, and then you get discounts and further tickets and concessions and stuff. I've already gone to see Anaconda in the theater with Paul Rudd and Jack Black. It was pretty funny. I think sure you'll wait till it comes to streaming, but when it does, you'll enjoy it. I think it's funny. You know, you can't say more than that about it. Which is not like the original Anaconda. The original Anaconda was not fun. And I rewatched that as well, and that is not as good. That's not a very good movie. Anyway, but all this
is okay. I thought it was okay. The original Anaconda. There's one. It's one classic scene for sure, but I'll leave it there without any spoilers.
So there you go. Going to the movies is my New Year's resolution. What about you?
All right. So I thought there's a couple things. Number one, drink more water, and I've got my water glass here. I got a classic for you. I went to the doctor, and I didn't. Well, what was wrong with me? I can't remember. Just digestion. And I'm like, okay. And I said to him, look, I'm drinking lots of liquids. And he goes, well, what are you drinking? And I go, sparkling water, or like the sparkling water beverages with flavor, or the sugar, like all sugar free. So I'm like, I'm a hero, doctor. I'm a hero. It's all sugar free. And he's like, it's not like drinking water. I go, what do you mean? I was like, sure it is. It's liquid, isn't it? So I'm debating the doctor. And he's like, nah, it's not the same. And he goes, are you drinking 8 glasses of water a day? I was like, 8? I said, no. He goes, like, are you drinking 1? Like, no, I'm just drinking these sugary beverages and coffee. And he's like, no. He's like, no,
I'm no good coffee a day.
It's all he had to say was it's all no good. So I'm like, okay, water it is. So I'm trying to drink my 8 glasses, and let me tell you, then you pee 100 times a day.
That's true. Yes, very much so. When you reach school age, it's funny because I bought my son Jack wanted a water bottle for Christmas, and he wanted a big water bottle. And then I ended up buying him like a 2-liter water bottle. It's huge. I don't know if you remember, we used to have a student who had a giant water bottle in class. Yeah, it's like that one, and the student was like, just lift this whole thing up. It was hilarious. But Jack has that for home because he wanted to take his other water bottle to work. He's very aware of the water issue, and he's drinking a lot of water, Kenton. So I think I should probably take a cue from him. I do have a water bottle. I don't drink it that often. This has probably been like this for a couple of days, so I can finish it off right now. But good resolution, Kenton. I think you'll be successful in that.
And I have just one more, and that is read every day. Read a book.
That's a good one. Yeah, that's great. I'm also trying to read more. 1 chapter a day. Yeah, that's doable for sure. I am currently reading, another Christmas gift my kids came up with, Jack and Shannon came up with this, is to start a family book club. So,
great.
Yeah. So with me and my mom, so it was really a gift from my mom, their grandmother. And they went to the bookstore and they bought 4 copies of the same book. And it was these, if you go to Kohl's or Indigo, they're these like classics, like all the literary classics published in a nice little hardcover. I don't have it with me, otherwise I'd show you. But it's Pride and Prejudice. We're reading Pride and Prejudice to start our book club. And so the goal is to have it done. We're going to be halfway done by the end of this month. And then we're going to discuss where we are at halfway point, and then we're going to do another half. The kids are like the ones, me and my mom are like, we can finish this in a month. And the kids are like, I don't know. So we're giving them a little more time. But I've been reading Pride and Prejudice. I'm enjoying it. And it's nice. The chapters are nice and short, which I really enjoy. And it's very well, of course, Jane Austen. It's one of the best books ever written.
Yeah, totally.
Fun. But yeah, that's a great as well. Read more. That's a great resolution.
I love that you're doing that. That's a great, that never even occurred to me. Like I yesterday I told the class, I give them recommendations at the beginning of the semester. And I was like, I want you to try to take the video gamer challenge, which is for every hour of video games you play, spend an hour reading. And they're all looking at me like, are you insane? Like, are you crazy? And I said, but look, I said, if you actually do it, tell me, and I'll bet you we could get you some media coverage. I'll bet. That's the classic video gamers trying to read every day And the teacher challenged them. Hey, maybe there's even a prize at the end. Who knows? But I just think like the idea of getting students to read more and the fact that you did that, that's amazing. Your kids want to do it. I almost called them your students. Your kids want to do it. That's fantastic. That is the best. That's the best thing I've ever heard.
As I understand, it was Jack's idea to do the book club, and I said to him, go to Kohl's because I saw that wall of books. I didn't know which ones were there, but I thought he would pick, like, they had Frankenstein, they had like some H.P. Lovecraft, they had some really interesting stuff. But Shannon picked Pride and Prejudice, my daughter, because she had started it but never finished it. She wanted to finish reading it, and my mom was thrilled. My mom has started reading it. She's like, I haven't read this in years. Happy to read it again. So yeah, I'll report back on that when I finish Pride and Prejudice. Let you know how it goes.
Please, dude, that's a good argument for buying 4 of the same book as well, so everybody could read it at the same time.
You're only, I don't know if we're gonna keep doing with this one, but there were those books I'm talking about were only $10 a piece, so they're cheap too. So it's like
great.
They're cover, very nice.
Is he amiable?
Who? Is he handsome?
Who?
He's sure to be handsome.
With 5,000 a year, it would not matter if he had warts and a leer.
Who's got warts?
I will give my hearty consent to his marrying whichever of the girls he chooses.
So will he come to the ball tomorrow, Papa?
It's a new year. It's time for new beginnings, resolutions, as we've been talking about. But I also thought we could talk about the state of the podcast, maybe set some goals for ourselves for the podcast this year and for ourselves, and just figure out where we want to go with this. And that's just kind of jumping off, like we've been doing this for the last few years. It's been not the most regular schedule. We do it when we can. We record when we can. I post when I can. I don't even post on a regular basis these days, which is what I always tell my students to do. So I'm not doing what I'm telling my students to do. But I would really like to get back on track and get posting on a regular basis. But also, I never think about the people who listen. On another podcast I'm on, Super Pulp Science, they often refer to the dear listener. They talk about the dear listener a lot in their podcast. We never do that. We never talk to the people listening to our podcast. We just kind of just talk to each other like it's a conversation with each other, and that's it. And that's been the podcast for the most part. But you said you had I won't say incident. You had a run in with a fan. We'll call it that. You met somebody who listens to the podcast.
So I was at the liquor mart over the break. That's where I go to get my juice. That's where Grandpa goes for his juice. And buying like before Christmas, where you load a basket full of liquor because you're like, I'm gonna need it.
It's when everyone acknowledges how much of an alcoholic they really are, and the lineup is out the door.
Yeah, and on an unrelated note, I accidentally bought 2 American brands of wine without knowing it, and the clerk said something like, "Oh, it's nice to be able to buy these again." I was like, "Wow, what are they talking about?" And then I got home like, California, shit. Like, I didn't even look to see, because we're trying not to do that in Canada. But anyway, so I was in the aisle, and this guy goes, "Hey, are you Kenton Larson?" And I went like, "Yes. How do you know who I am?" And he goes, "Are you one of the hosts of the Media Nerds podcast?" I went, "Oh my God, I can't believe it." I was like, "Yes, I am." And I was like, now, of course, I'm worried. He's going to go, "I hate that," but like anything could happen at that point. And he goes, "Oh, I love it." He goes, "I love it." And his name's Ryan. And he goes, "I love this podcast. I listen to it all the time." He's like, "I like Star Wars." He's like, "Look, maybe I'm at an age where I'm not collecting the figures anymore or that kind of stuff, but who doesn't love Star Wars for people our age?" So we had a good chat. And then we determined that he and I had actually, I think we worked together on Sean Garrity's Weird Sisters music video for Leave a Little Light is I think it's the Weird Sisters' best song. Mm-hmm. We shot it at Assiniboine Park on the coldest frigging day of all time. And so everybody who worked on that video is like, we're bonded forever because we went to war by being outside. And I remember saying to the makeup artist, I need to blow my nose. Could I please have a Kleenex? And she took out a single tissue and ripped it in half and gave me half a tissue. I still remember that. And I was like, this is half a nostril. Okay. So it was horrible. And we're, terrible, but great video and great everything else, hard workers and everything. But the conditions were off. That's when I decided media production is not for me. Film production. Okay. So we sort of determined that and we say goodbye. Then I remember I was at Sean Garrity's house not too long ago. And Sean's basement has been redone. And it's incredible. It's a beautiful, like I couldn't like I was there 1 month and it just looked like a basement. I was there the next month. It looked like this insane, like Taj Mahal kind of like living experience. And he's like, let me give you the name of the guy who did this. And it's Ryan. It's the same guy. It's the guy I ran into. So I didn't know that at the time when I ran into him. So maybe if he's listening, I can say that this all came full circle that day. Yes. So anyway, it was nice. And I was so shocked that he listened to our podcast. I called Caroline over and I was like, hey, Caroline, listen. I said, this is Ryan. And they go, oh, nice to meet you. I go, tell her what you told me. Oh, I like his podcast. She's like, oh my God. It's never going to happen again. Never happened before. Will never happen again.
Well, it's just interesting because we've been doing this podcast. I was thinking about this. It's more than 13 years now, right? Yeah. So it started in 2012. It was the fall of 2012 when we started doing this.
2010, I think. No, pardon me. It was The Force Awakens was coming out.
No. Before that, we were just media nerds at first. We were doing A-Star work. And we right? And our first one of our first episodes was just like we were just getting onto Netflix. Like that was like the first episode we talked about Netflix like it was this brand new thing. I should go find that.
Oh, don't. I'm sure it's horrible. There's this thing. There's this Netflix thing. That's how our voices sounded.
What I did, like one of the reasons why I wanted to do this podcast is because I wanted to grow my skills as an instructor. It was when I was already hired back to be an instructor in our program, and we were working together. And you're like, we should do podcasts. I said, okay, it's because we were going to be in the building at the same time. Anyway, we have the equipment here. We should do this. And I saw it as a way for me to refine my skills as an audio producer and editor and doing all the work behind the scenes and stuff like that. But also to figure out what this whole podcasting thing was all about, because that was brand new at the time. Like we didn't really understand it. It was just starting to come. Other things people put, like Joe Rogan was already doing his thing, but there's a few of those guys, but it wasn't like this mainstream thing that it is now. So I'm like, well, I got to figure this out. I've got to figure out how to make a podcast so that I can teach students how to make a podcast. And that's what we've been doing for the last 13 years is that. And from that, I've also parlayed that into production work as a podcast producer. So I do Super Pulp Science. I do Writing the Wrong Way. I do a couple other podcasts that I've gotten now from Fiverr as far as like doing production work and that kind of stuff. But I want to continue to expand my skills. I want to continue to build on what I know how to do, and therefore, so then I can continue to teach our students new skills. And for me in the last year, what that's really meant is moving into video, as we are doing this podcast on video now. So we can post a video podcast. The whole medium has been kind of moving in that direction. But the other thing I've been doing, of course, over the last few years is TikTok and doing all the cool TikTok things and making awesome videos there. So I also want to teach that. So I kind of all this to say is I kind of want to start moving this podcast more in that direction where we're creating, like we'll still talk about the stuff we talk about, but I'm going to be creating more smaller short videos out of it and posting to TikTok and YouTube, really starting to build my YouTube channel. I've just started doing that in the last couple of months in earnest. But now I'm going to actually start to create YouTube specific content, not just reposting my stuff to take from TikTok to YouTube, and try to build out an audience there, because that's where I believe our students should be focusing their skills. I agree
totally.
Right?
Yeah, I totally agree. And hey, like Vimeo is good for beautiful video content as well, like for the sort of I guess the purists. and the content does look great on Vimeo, but it does not have the cultural pull or the audience that you would see on YouTube.
It's not about necessarily the platform either. I'm prepared to move on to the next thing. Like I'm not married to TikTok. It's gonna suck when TikTok goes away because I have 15,000 followers there. That's a good amount of followers, and I probably won't get that on any other platform. Although I think I could get that on YouTube if I worked at it. And it definitely seems possible. Because like even in the last couple of months, as I've been posting more, my subscribers are going up. Right? I passed 500 subscribers. I have to get to a certain amount of watched hours or whatever to be able to monetize. But once I do that and even to monetize, even then I'm not going to make a ton of money. But regardless, that whole back end of it, I think, is important for our students. It is the platform that we need to use now. YouTube is the dominant platform right now. So therefore our students should be familiar with it. It is like what we used to do in our programs. We used to train students to work in radio and television back when those were kind of established. What do you call it when it's my words are going away from me today, Kenton. Corporate media, right?
The traditional traditional media, corporate media, whatever you want to call it.
We were just talking about where the jobs were in radio and television, on TV stations and radio stations in local markets. That's what we used to train for. Those jobs are gone, completely gone. Not completely gone, but they're like there's almost like one or two every couple of years. It's not enough of those jobs.
One in a blue moon.
Right. So it's not enough to sustain a program like ours. So I want to shift. Instead of that, people are creating YouTube content and TikTok content. And I'm not mentioning Instagram because I hate it and I don't want to do it anymore. Maybe we can talk around that a little bit.
I'm with you. I'm with you on that. And in fact, I'm well with you because I get my students in this semester of ad to choose between YouTube or TikTok. Download the studio apps for each one so you can track the analytics. Those are the two. You have a choice. You can choose either one because that's where the getting is good.
Well, not
Instagram.
that, but it's also the better algorithm. Although YouTube, I'm still not 100% on, but TikTok definitely has a better algorithm. As a user, I'm watching TikTok like videos of TikTok. I get my news there. I get entertainment there. I see videos from my friends there. I see all kinds of stuff all mixed together. None of that is on Instagram, and I realize that's partly because I don't use Instagram enough. Like they have to have, but even my friends who do use Instagram, I hear nothing but complaints from them all the time about all the ads, all the people that they're being forced to see that they don't follow, that they keep suggesting accounts, stuff like that. You don't do that on TikTok. Like they have a For You page, I think on TikTok, but they also have a tab where you just see the people you follow, right? So there's different sections, and Instagram I think is trying to copy that, but it's also the algorithm isn't as good. It's not necessarily about the platform, it's about the content and what people are doing to create the content, right? Because there's this whole ecosystem and whole world of people who do this stuff for free, not getting paid for it because it's fun, because they want to do it, because they want to build an audience. I guess they're hoping to become TikTok famous, right? A lot of these people are doing it because they hope to go viral and build an audience and be able to make money from it. But it's really a hobby for a lot of people, right? That's what it is. And that's okay.
You meet people who like the things you like, which is the whole point of social media in the beginning. And I think there's still people out there who are just doing stuff like that. It doesn't matter to them if they have 1 million people or 2 people watching them, if they just to have conversations with people about stuff that you agree on or that media that you enjoy seeing is a worthwhile endeavor.
And it is about like speaking to camera, but also about like coming up with what to say. It's about like practicing that and copying different styles of videos. Like I would love to have an assignment where I have students do that kind of video where they talk to each other, where they edit a conversation, and it could be like a funny sketch or something, and they're doing both sides. It's a very common type of video, that you see everywhere, and our students never do it anywhere. You know what I mean? Like they might if they came up with it, but I would like to make them do that kind of stuff. So that I'm going to start doing that kind of stuff as well, is all I'm trying to say. And so that's where I'm going to focus my energy this year, is on YouTube and TikTok. And whatever comes next, because I think this type of content is going to stick around. I think people still enjoy this. I think the feed on TikTok is like new changing channels, right? So kids will sit there, and my kid will sit there and he'll be like just on his phone on the couch silently because he's listening in his headphones. And that's how he watches the content, right? He doesn't sit there and look at the TV like we used to. He looks at his phone, and that's going to stick around. I think it might change platforms, but I think the content itself is gonna be dominant. It's what's replaced TV, local TV, and radio. Students used to come in wanting to be radio DJs. They don't want to do that. They want to come in. They want to be YouTubers, but they all secretly believe they can't do it because there's so many odds against them or whatever. I just think we should teach them the skills to do it, and if they want to try, they can, but they can probably apply those skills to like a company who also wants them, because every brand, every employer wants this. Like everyone, whenever I go out for work placement, I talk to people, almost always the students are making reels or vertical video for TikTok, and it's all like content related stuff. It's like interviews, it's like sometimes they're sketches, sometimes they're just promotional videos, but it's all very like kind of like ground level stuff. It's not fancy production stuff. You don't need a bunch of lights and a bunch of fancy cameras. It's all very done on their phones and that kind of stuff. And that's what the employers want. So that's what we have to be training for.
Yeah. And I also think when the internet was young, I remember thinking to myself, look, as a communications professional, you kind of owe it to yourself to be on there and to contribute in some way. And it could be, and by one contribute, there's a very loose definition of contribute. It's like You know, they used to say in journalism, feed the beast, where every day that's your job, like to create content that feeds the beast. And I think in communications, you sort of like, you can't just say, I said to the students this week, you can't just say, I'm not on there, but I know how it works. Like, you need to be on there. That to truly know how something works, you need to be on there, to know how the algorithm works, to know like what people are posting, to see trends and all of that stuff. You need to be part of it. Like, you don't need to be part of it all day long, every day, but a little bit here and a little bit there adds up over time. So like that, just like at the end of the week when iPhone or when Apple tells you you've been spending 3 hours a day on your phone, and you're like, what the hell? Like, that's all those little times you check added up over the course of a week come to 3 hours. It's the same thing with being online. It's like all the little bits add up to the point where at the end of the week, it's like you've actually spent time rehearsing and getting experience using these platforms.
I want to acknowledge that is valid experience. It's not professional experience always. It's not like something you're getting paid to do. I get paid to do most of the TikTok. I have been paid for some TikTok content, but most of the stuff I do on my own for free because I want to do it and because I think eventually I'll get some money out of it. One of the reasons why we've kind of overlooked it in our program and why it's not as focused as it maybe should be is because it doesn't directly lead to a job, right? There is no person out there saying, I'm going to hire you to be on YouTube, which is frustrating for me. I think there should be, like, media companies should be hiring a YouTube person. Any TV or radio company should have a person to manage their YouTube account, but they don't put their stuff. I'm going to try and put this to students this year and see, we're talking about radio this semester, and say, should radio stations be streaming on YouTube? Like, wouldn't that be worthwhile for them to put that on YouTube? But radio stations would say, we don't want to share our advertising revenue with YouTube. Well, guess what? YouTube's a lot better at selling ads than you are. And that revenue might end up being more than what you.
But also, right? I think the other problem with radio is, and this has happened to Howard Stern, which is, okay, all right, we're going to put you on YouTube. We're going to stream it. And even Howard Stern was on TV. I remember they did a compilation every week that they showed at 10 o'clock at night on a Friday on NBC or something, from his radio show. But then suddenly the video camera's there, and then it starts to become like, oh, now we're creating content for video as well. And then the pressure is on them to become more entertaining for the cameras that are in the room, and because it's not as exciting to see two people with, especially the morning show where they all have their baseball caps pulled down over their eyes and everything because they're tired and they're exhausted. Doesn't make for good television to see tired people or whatever. So there's that. Then that problem gets added to the other problem that they have. I think. I don't know. It's a tough one.
I mean, Howard Stern is like I haven't listened to him in a long time. No, I did listen to him. I tried a serious free trial or something like that, and I didn't like it. I don't remember what it was, but I don't know. That guy, he's still having fun. He's getting paid well, I'm sure, but
billions, yeah.
Not as relevant as he once was, right? This is the problem with the niche media. He's only on one very specific thing. So I'm sure he's a very small following of people who love him still, but it's not like he was massive. At one point, he was like huge across.
Well, they made a film, the film Private Parts, about him starting in radio, which is actually a good film. I remember it being a good film. Maybe it's dated now. I'm sure it is. Paul Giamatti as his boss.
WNBC. I love that movie. Actually, it's really...
I also like Howard Stern playing himself as a DJ early on, where he's like, everybody. He's got nasally
clip of him coming in late.
Oh my God. Hi, Howard Stern. How you doing? Here, Fred? I can't believe how late I am. Who would have thought? On the Berlin Turnpike, and I take a left-hand turn, and I like rehearsed this 500 times getting here, and I somehow got lost. Oh, I'm sweating. Oh, so hot. So zerhitzt. Hot. I was planning on being on time. Oh, man. Oh. 107 FM, AM 1290 WCCC. Good morning. My name is Howard Stern. I'm the new morning man on CCC. Sitting with me, Mr. Ringo Starr. And he's here in the studio. Hi, Ringo. How you doing, me love? I wish you'd play us a little Wipeout this morning. Wake everybody up. Oh, yeah, that was great, Ringo. CCC, AM 1290, FM 107. This is Cheap Trick. Oh, thank you. Whoa.
I use that to tell students this is what radio used to be.
Yeah.
Because it's a good clip and it's funny, and it kind of gives them a sense of like, yeah, there used to be people there. Now it's just like a computer that chooses the songs. But
Yeah, and even things in pop culture, like the other day I was playing the Kinks, Around the Dial, and the song is about, I turn on the radio and my favorite DJ isn't there. Like, what happened to you? Where did you go? Like, and the whole thing is like, give us a sign so we know where our favorite DJ went. Like, that just doesn't. That's not even something like that shows you what being like even a local DJ was like back in the day. You were a star, you were a celebrity. People felt connected to you. And that has by and large been co-opted by other forms of media now.
when I do see radio jobs where like I do have like a, whatever, LinkedIn kind of alerts for that kind of stuff, just to kind of keep up of it. But they're all starting to say content creator, like all these posts, content creator, content video creator. Like they want somebody to go on the air and talk like they used to have, but that person is also going to be making videos of them in the station. Like you said, they're going to be probably dressed a lot nicer now. That period is gone now where you can't you can just show up in your PJs, because I think most radio stations will have their hosts on camera. I'm starting to see that. I follow some CJOB friends on TikTok and they post their stuff there as well. So it's just another, what we talked about in class is just, it's people just want to see a face to go with a voice. I think that's generally what it is. They don't care necessarily. It doesn't have to be super produced. Like I think Conan's proof of that, right? Where he took like what he did TV show. He's kind of brought it down a notch for the podcast, but he's still like, he doesn't have to go through hair and makeup anymore. He just shows up and does the podcast, right? So there's not kind of that kind of stuff happening, but it's still a nice looking studio. So I like what he's doing there.
Yeah, but it is low cost, no doubt about it.
All that to say, I think we should make sure that we get back onto a regular recording schedule, and posting schedule for this. And I have to kind of look at my own weekly schedule and figure out when I can work this into like a workflow as far as posting. Because one thing I want to start doing is putting more work into this podcast and inserting more clips and making it a little more interesting and doing what I'm doing for other podcasts that I'm working on. Because I think that is the future of podcasting. I think that is like, again, this is me keeping my skills sharp. I'm trying new things. And so I did this a lot back when we were just doing an audio podcast. I would put Star Wars sounds and Star Wars noises and stuff like that in the podcast. I've fallen away from that because it became too much work and I didn't have time. But now I'm going to make the time and actually spend the time like making this a really good podcast. But what I also would like to say is that I think we should cut down on the Star Wars nerds, and not do that as often. And
well, when the Mandalorian comes out, that's a different ball game, because I find the same thing. The Star Wars podcast that popped up on my phone today, they're all just kind of spinning their wheels until the next media property shows up.
I don't want to do that. I want to we'll talk about Star Wars when there's something to talk about. But other than that, it will be media nerds. We'll just do media nerds like we always have done. And it'll be a different topic every week, different main topic having to do with media. We'll have a little banter at the beginning, have the recommendations at the end. This is the podcast, right? This is what, and I go through this with students. I'm like, this is what I do. Kenton and I do this for our podcast, and I have them do the exact same thing for their podcast.
Yeah.
This is a way you can do it. It's not the only way. You can take this formula and make it whatever you want, but this is what we're doing for ours. Okay, so that's that.
And it can be as produced or not produced as you like. That doesn't necessarily, like, okay, you want the audio to be clear, of course. But I mean, it doesn't need to be heavily edited necessarily. It's like some of my favorite podcasts are just conversations. Those can be excellent. Like David Duchovny interviews people about failure. Like I love those podcasts. And all he's doing is talking to somebody who he likes and who has insight into things like that. And you learn something from it. It doesn't need to be like traditional television.
Yeah.
where it's like, here we go, like three, beginning, middle, end. It doesn't even, it can be free flowing.
Yeah. So that's so that's my goal. And so what kind of stuff do you want to talk about on the podcast this year, Kenton? Are there any specific topics that we should talk about more that we haven't been doing?
Well, I would say related to that is that the promotional part of it comes into play too. We haven't been, like, we've been posting them later. We haven't been sharing them as much as a while because it's work. I mean, it's work and you don't always have time. And you pointed out, depends on the schedule. We are absolutely slaves to our work schedule because that comes first. And then we try to plug this in somewhere. And then, but everything, like the time to do it, like it's also nice to check in with a coworker every week too, by the way. That's something we didn't say, but that's another reason to do it. Like we teach, when you're teaching, you're isolated. It is an extremely isolating job where you're in your own little island. You have no idea what's going on. So you get to meet with your coworker once a week and you get to talk. Oh, what's going on? Like, it's nice to have that. That's a good reason for anybody to start a podcast. But yeah, I would like to do more promotion topic wise. So that promotion is always part of it. Topic wise, I mean, the media is a general topic. And I think that's helped us and it's hurt us in some ways because people don't necessarily want to tune into the media. They might want to tune into like streaming reviews or stuff like that. So that makes it a little bit harder. It's a broad thing that encompasses many aspects.
That's true. One thing I'll say about the promotion is that I'm just kind of speaking from my personal perspective, is it's discouraging when you make something and not a lot of people listen to it. Our numbers aren't great in a lot of cases, right? And they've dropped as we stopped promoting. Like I always kind of used to go hard on this stuff, and we would always like post it and then retweet it. Twitter was a big help in that case back when Twitter was good, and that would help us out quite a bit. We don't have that anymore. And Blue Sky is not the same. I'm sorry, but it's just not becoming not replacing Twitter in any way.
No, it's a little boring.
I'm still posting stuff there, but I should tell you that I'm officially not on Threads. I've deleted my Threads account because I don't see the point. So
I don't like Threads very much either, but there I am, and I've got it open on a tab right now. It wouldn't let me post my job posts today.
That's bullshit. That kind of stuff is stupid. That's doing that bullshit. You have to use all of our platforms. Threads.
Yeah, maybe they won't let me link to LinkedIn. Maybe it's that.
Okay. Well,
maybe that. I don't know what it was. I can't tell you what it was. Then I shared it differently with a different link, and then it took it. Yeah. So it had to probably it was the LinkedIn link that I used to do it.
Right now, the key to everybody's promotion of podcast is clips. That's the number one thing, and that's because it's like it's shorter clips. I tell students it's like mining. You're mining for gold because you're going through the whole podcast and stuff. It's not all great. It's not all like amazing stuff, but you're like looking for the little gems and the gold nuggets throughout, and you're gonna pull that clip, something really hilarious that somebody said or something funny, and then you're gonna put that on the internet, and then hopefully it'll get people watching it. I think most of the time people just like to enjoy the clip and that's it. I don't think it gets as much traffic to the podcast as people hope it does, but it's still worth doing because people do enjoy it in the short form as well. That's why I do it. And so, but the thing is, you still have to post. Now I've been having trouble with this because I was cutting 3 at one point. I'm doing this for other podcasts that I work on. Where I'm cutting 3 promo videos basically per episode. But then I feel like, is that too much to post about an episode? Then another side of me is like, no, that's fine. If I post 3 videos over the course of a week, that's like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, right? Something like that. That would be fine. That's not people thinking I'm posting about my podcast too much, right?
Well, I think that's you pointed out the thing that everybody thinks about when they share. You don't want to overshare.
Yeah.
You don't want to spam people. I used to post our podcast on LinkedIn, and quite a few people would tell me, "Oh, I played that podcast that you shared on LinkedIn." And then I started thinking about it and going like, "Well, it's not specifically work related." It's like, should I but people did listen to it when I posted it there. So you sort of have to do that math and figure out like how much of this is too much, how much isn't enough.
I don't want to post it everywhere. I don't think we necessarily need to think like we're not going to spam it. That was our method before, right? Get it out everywhere and then people can listen to it. I think as long as we get it out everywhere, podcast platform wise, as long as we're on the major platforms for podcasting, that's fine. And we just tell people get it wherever you get your podcast. What I would like to get into more is more. I'm going to do this on my own personal channel. Maybe we can do this for the podcast. More boosted posts. That
right.
to the more people in the algorithm. It sucks that we have to do this. I would love to for them to change it so that we don't have to do that as much and have them be more natural. I wish they would legislate that kind of stuff actually, and they would legislate Google to make them pay more of the ad revenue to the creators. But anyway, but yeah, I think that's a good way to go. I lost my train of thought about what.
Well, you were talking about posting little clips online, and that in advertising they call that giving your content a social lift. And it can be, but it also points out the truism, which is people like I still listen to very long podcasts and I love them. I have one right now. There's a Star Wars podcast I listen to called Galaxy of Toys. Okay, and it's long. It's not necessarily the mics are like it's 2 hours and 12 minutes. Okay, that's sweet. They're like some of them have better mics than others. Like the guy in the room has got a better mic, and the folks phoning in, it's a little less clear. And I'm happy to take in that 2 hours and 12 minutes because I know these. It's like I know them now, and I like listening to them talk. They always have interesting things to say, but the lion's share of people only have time for 10 seconds of content here, 10 seconds of content there. So maybe in some cases, I think it might be too much to ask to get people to listen to very long content. And I know the New York Times has thrown in the towel on their podcast app. Did you see that?
You know that?
Yeah, they spiked it. And it's not surprising to me because
tell me what they were doing. Like what was the app?
The idea was they were going to stop posting on iTunes and they were going to migrate it to a New York Times app, which would be free for quite a long time, but then ultimately would become part of the paid subscription to the New York Times. That's what they wanted to do. They wanted to get it back into the paid garden. And of course, why wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Okay. But it just didn't. It didn't take. Not enough takers, I guess.
Yeah. It's interesting because it has to be available for people to listen to it, right? And people are not going to go to. They want to be able to choose the platform they want. They want to have choice first of all, and they're not going to go where you tell them to go. Right? They're not going to just blindly go. This is the problem I keep running into at CTV, where it's like we should be putting our stuff on YouTube, and they're like, well, they can come to our website to watch it. They don't. Well, they will not go to your website. They will go to YouTube because they always go to YouTube.
How many steps? How many steps is it to get to the to find that content? Like it's harder than ever. And like the Google algorithm, we could complain about. We could complain about the Google AI overview. Like, do you and I need to do generative engine optimization to get our bloody podcast listed on Google AI overview? Like there's things like that now that go beyond what your basic podcasters have the time and inclination to do.
Yeah. I agree. So, maybe well, okay, what I'm going to start with, one video per episode, one promo video. We'll start there. I mean, if something else stands out, I'll do that as well, but we'll share them on our platforms. I'll put it on Blue Sky. I usually share it on Blue Sky when I post it there. I don't care about Twitter anymore. I don't care about Facebook. I almost deleted my Facebook account today, and I was like,
tempting.
It's just because people try and get hold of me there. It's like a phone book. I mean, I could see the value. I mean, certainly people our age are on Facebook. Right. So I used to have a Facebook page for this podcast. I've deleted that. I don't post that stuff anymore, but I did post at one point. Do you think it might be worth doing that again and getting back on Facebook, or is Facebook dead? People are saying it's dead. Like they really are saying this age of like sharing content like this, where we're sharing our own personal lives is over and nobody cares about each other's lives anymore.
Now I don't know if this has come into effect yet, but I heard that Facebook is like people who have a Facebook page, a business account, that they're charging you to post links after 2.
Oh my God, give me a break. Yeah. Okay,
yeah, I know. It just becomes like Meta's just grabbing money wherever they can.
I would rather, if I'm going to run an ad, I think probably could still do this, run an ad campaign on Facebook, but direct them to the podcast website, not to Facebook.
Yeah.
Right? Like you could do that, put together a campaign and just run it as an ad campaign. That might be doing, because there are people on Facebook and they might be worth reaching, but yeah, I don't know. The other thing I'm going to do is be more active as a user on YouTube, because I think part of the reason why my account has grown on TikTok is because I'm an active user and I've grown a network. I have friends on TikTok who post about similar content. We promote our own, each other's stuff. I talk to students about that as well, growing your network as far as users and other people who do this kind of thing. So I'm going to focus in on that on YouTube, because I don't do enough of that. YouTube, I don't comment ever, because I usually watch it on my TV. But now there's a function where you can connect your phone to it, so I can comment using my phone while I watch it on my TV. So I'm gonna start doing that.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, that's all good, and it's true. Like regular posting seems to have an impact, and it also increases your odds that one of the posts are gonna take off. Like that's what makes TikTok work.
TikTok's the best, but TikTok has like various degrees of it. I think that's why it works. Is it happens in still in a satisfying way. Like I was posting, I posted my, and this is probably again telling me when I start going to the movie theater more and seeing new movies and posting videos about those movies, they'll probably do well, because all those movies are also being promoted on the web, on the platform, right? So that Anaconda video actually did pretty well, and I'm happy with how many views it got, because my videos like that used to get like 300 views, and that one is like got more than 2,000 now. So it's that's good enough for me. I'm happy with that. And so, but on Instagram, it's either all or nothing. I don't get that kind of thing on Instagram. And then the same thing on YouTube. YouTube is really weird, because I'll get one video that'll have like 1 view, and that's it. Whereas the next one will get 1,000 views, and I don't know. I don't understand. So, anyway,
who knows? Who knows? Everybody's trying. Yeah. I guess the downside to YouTube is any licensed music and you're playing with fire.
Any licensed content doesn't have to be music. So my most recent episode, I have a podcast called Transatlantic Watch Party. I do with my friend Cara, who lives in the UK. And so the idea is we watch a movie and then we talk about it on the podcast. And so last week we watched The Poseidon Adventure. So I posted an episode, and I've started to edit clips of the movie in as I've been telling you I've been doing. And it got flagged for copyright on YouTube. So fuck. And it was like, but sometimes they say play for copyright, the content holder allows it to be used. Most people allow things to be used on YouTube these days. There's not a lot of people who are too sticklers about it. But this is Fox, and Fox is apparently, well, it's Disney, I guess. Now.
No, Fox is?
Fox was bought by Disney, wasn't it?
I don't know. I didn't know that.
It said Fox was the owner of it, and it was I'm appealing it, because I said this is fair use. We're talking about the movie. I can show clips from the movie, so we'll see. But what it did was it flagged every single little clip that I put in there of the movie, and I can cut those out and repost it, and it would be okay. Or what I ended up doing was allowing the audio version of the podcast to post to YouTube through the RSS feed, and that's fine. They don't care about the audio of those clips. They only care about the video part of it. So
Unreal.
Yeah.
Well, there's the big scandal over the holidays was every music fan on YouTube was getting legal notices sent to them, and and it was the same thing. They were playing like 10 seconds of music content, like it was almost nothing.
Yeah.
And they were, they have to hire a lawyer, and it's like all of the biggest names is like in music YouTube. The folks, so if you want to talk about music, you can't play any of the music. You have to just sit there and talk about it. So it's kind of unfortunate.
Stupid.
Yeah.
That's not what I tell students. I tell students they can play the music because it's fair use.
Oh, no. Well, maybe it is. Maybe it is. I mean, it doesn't stop them from sending you the thing. I mean, the reason my first YouTube channel got taken down was because of that clip I've shared, from 30-second clip from a movie that I used in class. Like, that's educational. It's like fair use. It's like any by any standard. And but no, that's all it took. So that's the problem. So if you're afraid that your account's going to be canceled, you're never going to do anything.
Well, that's the one thing it said. It says these 3 things. I acknowledge this, I acknowledge this, and I acknowledge that filing a false report may result in my account being deleted. I'm like, well, I'm not filing a false report. I'm just telling you this is making my case here. Because I think the way it's always kind of default in case of the rights holder. This could be a topic for an episode, by the way. We could talk about more detail. And this, by the way, is the kind of stuff that we should be teaching our students about, is how to deal with this stuff.
I mean, copyright goes along with plagiarism, goes along with fair use, goes along with lots of stuff.
And it doesn't help that we're Canadian and we deal with a lot of American media, and that's all together anyway. So who knows?
Right. It's a complicated topic.
It is.
Yeah.
But let's end it there. Although I will add, we should also talk about music more, because I know you love music, and I'm trying to listen to more music. So maybe we'll pick. So if you think of any music related topics, you can just text me. Maybe keep a list or something of like episode ideas.
I actually do keep a list of stuff on my phone, like stuff that occurs to me. I keep in my notes, and I've got like 1,000 music topics. Like it's easy to do.
I think it'd be a real good discussion. Like I've said in the past, my daughter is really into metal music, heavy metal, and CDs. She likes. I got her a Discman, a new Discman for Christmas. It's a CD player with a USB-C charger.
They're cheap.
Well, yeah, and it was like, she kept having to put batteries in the other one. The other one broke. The other one I had was an old one, and she kept having to change the batteries. I'm like, this is like, we're beyond batteries at this point. I don't know why we still have to deal with AA batteries, but we do. But anyway, she likes that. So yeah, music would be a good topic. So we'll start working on that. And so yeah, more regular posting, more regular episodes, not as much Star Wars nerds, but that'll be, you'll know when you hear the little Jawa sound at the beginning of the podcast that it's a Star Wars nerds episode, and that will be exciting. Because we have a Star Wars movie coming out later this year, right?
May.
Mandalorian and Grogu. I saw a trailer for it when I finally saw, like, on the big screen. It was awesome.
Oh,
when I went and saw Anaconda, that was one of the trailers that played, and it's very cool. It gets you really, really.
Oh, I want to see it on a big screen. That's great.
Go see. Why don't you go see Marty Supreme, and let me know how that is.
What's interesting about that is I have no desire to see it, and which, by the way, which happens with Timothy Chalamet for me more than any other actor. I don't hate him, but I also am not drawn to the movies that he's in. Like, even like the concept of him playing Bob Dylan just doesn't resonate with me. I just can't, like, I've had people tell me it's a good movie and stuff. I just don't. When there's other content to be enjoyed, I'm just not as interested.
I've heard that the trailer for that film has been criticized because apparently the movie's about him playing ping pong, but there's almost no shots of him playing ping pong in the trailer because it's all focused on him as a hot young hunky guy to try and get butts and seats. But like that has the opposite effect on me as it's intended, because that makes me not wanting to see anything. If your biggest thing you have to say about the movie is that Timothy Chalamet is a star, I don't want to see it. There's got to be something more to it.
Then I heard Kevin O'Leary is in it, and I was like, now I really don't want to see it. In Canada, Kevin O'Leary, that's his name, right? Kevin O'Leary, right? I was thinking Terry O'Reilly. Oh God. Yeah. So in Canada, Kevin O'Leary is kind of like not Mr. Wonderful. People kind of don't like him. They're sick of him after 600 years on Dragon's Den.
I think the opportunity here for you is to leave here and never show this to anybody again. And let this amazing secret die with you so that a future generation can find it in papers that you left behind in a box. And I'll invest in it then.
Okay, let's finish up with some recommendations. Kenton, what have you been watching?
Well, I got a good one, and it was completely unexpected. I always get some great recommendations from Empire Magazine podcast. And so they did their year-end list of best films of the year. And there's always ones in there that I'd never heard of in my life. And which is interesting when you consider, like, I like films. I like nerdy films, like Empire Magazine tends to cover. And one of the films was called, there's a bunch that I watched, and they're all really good. But there's one called Companion, which I watched last night. Have you heard of it?
Yes, I have not seen it yet.
Okay. And I'm not going to give it away. And it's better if you don't know exactly what it's about when you start watching it.
I know what it's about.
Okay, well
I'm
not going to say.
Let's consider the listener and not say what it's about.
The main actor is Dennis Quaid's son from The Boys, whatever his name is. Dennis Quaid Jr. Yeah, Jack, that's right. Dennis Quaid Jr. is better. But so he's in it, and some other cast members, and it's if you like nerdy entertainment, I found it compelling. It asks some interesting questions. It's really hilarious, at times. The acting is fantastic. It's an hour and a half, like breezes by. And I can't believe I'd never heard of it. By the time it was over, I was like, that is a fine film. Like, that's a 4-star film right there. Like, just good entertainment. And I watched it only because it's free on Crave, and I had it on my list from Empire, and there's nothing else. The Pit wasn't. I tried to record The Pit last night, and it didn't work. But this morning, and it wasn't on demand yet. This morning, it's on demand. So hey,
me this morning.
What's that?
It's advertised to me this morning. It's trying to get me to re-sign up for Crave because the Pit's back on there. That's their big push. But that's interesting about the Companion. I know about that movie because one of my TikTok friends is in it. Matt McCarthy is a American comedian who's best known on TikTok for his VHS and DVD collection. He's the guy who kind of got me doing this stuff, but he's also a friend of mine. You know him. I've talked to him a few times. And he keeps pushing that. He's like, here's the Matt McCarthy section of his DVD collection. He's like, here's Companion. He shows that because he's in it. He's the redheaded guy with the beard. I don't know if you remember who he is. He's probably got a bit part in someone. He's also done stuff like Brooklyn Nine-Nine. He's been in a bunch of stuff.
Oh, I think I do know where that actor shows up. Yes.
He's also like a frequent companion of Pete Holmes. So if you see Pete Holmes on tour, he will be usually opening up for him.
Excellent.
So anyway, okay, my recommendation. So one of my gifts to myself, I guess really this is what this is. I'm starting my rotation through my premium streaming services, as we discussed in previous episodes. So I started with Apple TV Plus, or Apple TV now it's called, no plus. Because I wanted to catch up with Slow Horses. That was really my main reason for doing it. So I
need to do it. I still need to.
It's awesome. So we sign up for it, and then I go in and I cancel it right away. So it's not going to renew. So I've got 1 month of Apple TV Plus. I'm going to catch up on everything. So Slow Horses, yes. Foundation is really good as well. So catching up on the shows that I've already been watching, but a show that I didn't know about until I was scrolling through there that is really, really good, called Hijack with Idris Elba.
I saw season 1.
Oh my God. Season 1? There's more than one season? Or there's another
season 2 just started yesterday.
Is that right? Oh my God. Maybe that's why they've been pushing it at me. Well, here, this might not be, I might not be able to make it out to the end of the month then. But I'm certainly loving season 1. It's really good. It's like a 24. I don't know if it's exactly like hour by hour, but it's pretty close. Where it's like an hour. It's a flight from Dubai to England. It gets hijacked, and so every episode is basically about an hour's worth of time as they move towards London. And it's so good. I can't stop watching it.
He is such a compelling actor that I think he carries the weight of that show. He really does. I think if a different actor were in the part, I wouldn't enjoy that show as much.
Probably.
Yeah.
It's a little bit against type because, I mean, it's a bit of a spoiler, but in the first episode, they're kind of mysterious about what he does for a living. And they're kind of making it seem like he's like, I don't know. I thought, is this another John Wick movie where he's going to kick everyone's ass? It's just like, because that's what we always see. But no, he's like a negotiator. So he's like good at convincing people to do things. And that's what he's really going to do here, is like convince these guys to like do what he wants. And that's what he's been doing this entire time. But it's just really, really interesting. And then of course it follows the people on the ground who are like trying to figure out that this plane's been hijacked. It's just a really well put together show. I've been enjoying it quite a bit.
Oh, that's excellent.
That is on Apple TV again. Apple TV.
It is,
yeah.
And the new season is there as far as I know. I've paused that. I'm going through all my to watch on Disney Plus and CBC Gem, and once I get that out of the way, then I might go back. Then I think it's Apple TV will be next for me.
I think I've got about 2 more weeks left on the Apple TV, so I'm going to do. I'll see. Maybe I can do season 2, but I'm definitely going to do that, and or I'm definitely going to do Pluribus, which is the one I'm saving.
Oh yes.
Jack. I'm trying to convince Jack to watch it with me because he's a big Vince Gilligan fan. So I think that would be really good to watch.
Excellent.
Pluribus. But yeah, the one like Hijack is just so good. I've loved it. That's the new one I've discovered this time around on Apple TV.
Awesome.
Next month I'm going to go to Crave. By the time I go to Crave, the Pit will be there. All the episodes will probably be there, or at least a good chunk of them. And then we'll just go from there. Then I'll go to maybe Paramount Plus in the 3rd month, and maybe I'll actually watch Landman. I keep seeing that advertised to me. Landman.
I can't do it.
Landman.
I don't think I can watch Landman.
He's a landman. What is? Sounds like a really weird superhero.
Well, yeah, but on LinkedIn, he's an anonymous troll. That's one of the things you learn about LinkedIn. You got a job title, You got no face, and you got some bullshit that they're posting.
Right.
So I wonder if Landman is on LinkedIn.
Oh.
Is posting? Is he trolling people all day, but with land-related matters?
I think it's actually about oil. I think that's another way of saying it. The movie's about an oil guy. But anyway. Okay, that's gonna do it for this episode of the Media Nerds. I'm Dan Vadabonker.
I'm Kenton Larson. Don't let the door hit you on the ass.